All right, so I already kind of said I'm Alicia Lewis. I was once here in these seats. I don't remember pizza being here, so that's a bonus for you guys. I started here in 2008. That was my first year, my freshman year. Originally, my first day here, I'll give you guys some pictures to look at. Hey. Originally, I was going to be a meteorology major. Do we have any meteorology students in here? No? Nah. I was a meteorology major for one day. And then I saw my my class schedule with math and physics and so on, and I decided to switch to broadcasting. Good choice. And from there, I kind of was involved in UTVS. I got involved early, my freshman year, did the whole tryouts thing. We were talking about how nerve-wracking tryouts were. At that point, my freshman year, they had an international report. So I didn't make anchor or anything, but they would have like a segment just for international reports overseas. So I did that. And I was pretty green, pretty bad, but that's what first years are for. And then from there, I did reporting, anchoring, managed editing. Derek wants me to show, we went to my senior year to Los Angeles. We won the, what is it, National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences, an Emmy. So it was pretty, we've only won it one other time, right? So we've won it twice, in 2007 and in 2012. And that was for our best newscast. So that was so huge. We got to go to LA. We got to meet people in the industry, go to CBS, learn all about it there. So I definitely recommend, if you have any work, reporting, anchoring, be sure to submit that into awards and go to these events, because that's where you network. And this industry is all about networking. It's all about who you know. I did at the grocery store. It was the best day of my life. I remember running up to you guys. We were at Trader Joe's. I'm like, you guys, I saw Channing Tatum. And everyone's like, yeah, right, Alicia. I'm like, I swear. And it was just after we met Jay Leno. It was a solid trip. So you want to send your stuff, and this is me on the red carpet, you know. And then graduating, woo, 4 years. And Jen Austin, I know she's come here before. She's the morning anchor at KBJR. She's wonderful. So Twitter or Facebook her if you have a chance, because she would love to give you guys advice. So again, here's my stuff. SCSU, like I said, I was a reporter. We did the same thing, one report a week. Anchored my probably sophomore through senior year. And then I was managing editor like you, kind of making sure the newscasts were running smoothly. That was my senior year. And then my internship, I didn't get an internship. I tried for news stations. CARE 11, WCCO, you know, you want to get that golden internship, the experience, because it looks good on your resume. I didn't get one in TV, but I got one at Quarterton Productions. Is that still Quarterton Productions, or is it something else now? I don't know. It's a production company. It was a production company out of St. Cloud, where they did, you know, commercials for companies or corporate video. So it was kind of a whole different spectrum, which was actually a great experience. If you can't get one in TV, don't worry. Maybe just try one in production or anything, just to get real life work experience. So I found my old demo tape from college, and some of you are creating yours. And so feel free to laugh, because I know I will. But I'll play it here, at least part of it, to give you guys a little idea. That's not my phone number anymore, so don't call me. And be careful if you put phone numbers on. People will call you. Scary.
Cigarette butts, much like this one found here, could become more of a problem now that the designated areas on campus are the only places students are allowed to smoke. The first 250 fans that came through the door got a free ball to get signed by the players tonight, and a ballpark-style meal to get ready for the upcoming season. Social networking sites like Facebook and other electronics such as iPods, iPads, and smartphones are keeping students plugged in for hours a day. During the recession, tuition rates have climbed 4 times the rate of inflation, leaving a heavy burden on students' shoulders. Many teens are unaware of the digital footprint they're leaving in the digital world. By uploading photos, videos, and any personal information, it can stay online for even weeks, let alone years. And with the possible early spring, farmers might get a head start to their crop season. Well, in this economy, we're used to hearing about too many workers and not enough jobs. However, for one area in North Dakota, it's the opposite. Well, the long-awaited and anticipated trial of Amanda Knox ended today, leaving the Knox family with all smiles. Making a list and checking it twice, and those who've been naughty might want to start being nice, because Santa Claus is coming to town tomorrow. Santa and the Missus will be at Lake George from 1 to 4, and they formally invite you to bring your friends and family to visit their winter wonderland. And while the lack of snow lengthened the construction season this year, but one other piece of winter brought it to an end. Andrea Hubble joins us in the newsroom. Andrea.
We are Trayvon!
This is a package.
The death of Trayvon Martin is causing outrage across the nation and bringing the issues of racial profiling to the surface. And many St. Cloud residents gathered and marched in the Million Hoodie March in memory of Trayvon and in hopes to gain community support and justice.
You should want people to walk around town not having to worry about anything just because of their color or their race. Like, you should walk around feeling like a civilized person.
At the time of his death, Trayvon allegedly looked suspicious due to the fact that he was wearing a hoodie, which is why St. Cloud resident Clifford Holden is participating in the Million Hoodie March to help put an end to racial profiling.
I hope when people see me rocking my hoodie, they don't think I'm the gangster that's trying to rob them. I'm hoping it'll be less people clutching their purse, you know what I'm saying, because of my skin color and how I dress. You know, I hope that people start just seeing eye to eye and giving each other the benefit of the doubt.
Participants of the march wore hooded sweatshirts and passed out Skittles and iced tea, which was what Trayvon bought at a convenience store right before he was shot by neighborhood watch captain George Zimmerman.
My sign says, "I am Trayvon Martin," and it has my handprints on the side. And it's just to show that this could happen to anyone. Trayvon is the major name that's happening right now, but there's many other cases. It could have been me, it could have been my brother, it could have been my sister, anyone who we know. And it's just showing that we all are one and we need this justice so everyone can have justice. Maybe around 50.
All right, I'll stop that there. So there's more to my demo. You can get it on, YouTube. I'll give you guys all my links at the end. I don't want to bore you too much, but gives you a little idea of my work that I did here at UTVS, and a package I did that normally you start off with your best package, the best of the best of your work here at St. Cloud, because when news directors are watching these, they literally, some of them don't even watch them and just listen to your voice, the way you sound, the way the inflection in your voice. So you want your best of the best of the best right at the top, because they only give you so many minutes of their time. They're busy people. Back to my PowerPoint. See if I know how to work this. There you go. Okay, so from there, a lot of you are in the moment of, where do I go from here? What do I want to do with my life? Believe me, we all sat there. It's a scary time when even if you're a junior, is this something I want to do? Where do I want to live? What kind of work do I want to do? Here's all of my resumes I sent out. I remember being here making all these DVDs for 6 months after I graduated. It was almost, I was like, I don't have a job yet. I'm really nervous, which is normal. I applied. Didn't hear any callbacks. I was glued to my phone, glued to my email. Don't give up hope. Persistence, determination are the two words that I literally live by, and it's how I got all of my jobs. After nobody was responding to my snail mail, I started to contact news directors directly, which they tell you not to do, but I disagree with that. I say, reporters are go-getters in general. They want the story, they want the top scoop, they want the job, and I wanted the job, so I emailed my demo to all the news directors as well. And then I started getting bites because, who's this person? They get my email, they just click on my link, go straight to my YouTube or my Vimeo, and they're able to watch my work. And then I started getting phone calls, and that's when you have to just be persistent and just never give up, I guess, is my motto. So I got two different job offers. One actually in radio. I was getting a little desperate. I wasn't getting any TV offers. I had an offer in TV radio in Bloomington, Illinois, which I had no experience in radio, but I thought, hey, it's probably similar. And then I had an offer at Springfield, Illinois, to take a job there as a part-time reporter, part-time MMJ. So I took the job, Springfield, Illinois, at WICS News Channel 20. Like I said, I was a part-time MMJ working 3-4 days a week, getting my, my reporter legs. And from there, they created a position for me, full-time morning reporting. They didn't have one there at the time, so it was kind of new for me, new for the station. But it was nice because I was the only morning reporter in a small market. Now Springfield's like market 80, I think 4 or 2, somewhere around there. And I got to be live for breaking news. I was on the scene with CNN reporters, choppers from NBC New York. The Today Show was live at a tornado in Washington, Illinois, and I was this new reporter on the scene with not very good live experience, but there I was with all these big time news stations getting my legs. So it's definitely good to get your experience in a smaller market. I definitely recommend that. But hey, it doesn't hurt to jump markets either, if you know what I'm saying. But from there I had different segments, like I said, breaking news. Every Friday I did a farm report, which is something I didn't do here, but as a reporter you get to cover so many different topics. You really become an expert in all kinds of fields, which is a reason why I went into this industry, because I'm curious, I guess. And we get to eat at that curiosity and figure out what we like. I started a segment called Road Trippin', where I went all around the state and got to feature fun little things in different towns and highlight the cool spots in all these small little towns. And then Fugitive Files every Monday. This is actually really cool. I would be at the Sheriff's Department and we would put this fugitive on the screen and say, you know, here's this person, they're wanted for this, this, and this. Call in tips and we're gonna go get this bad guy. And so people during the show, the 2-hour live show I was in, would call in live on air. And then we would get so many tips that we were able to go out live and catch this guy on camera, and we would air it all day long. So it was pretty good. People loved it, and it was also, you know, helping our community out, which is what journalism was all about, right? And then from there I started filling in anchoring, which is something I aspired to do. And then towards my end of my contract, I was there for 2 years. I was their new full-time anchor because both the anchors left. So it was a good experience. And at the station it was kind of weird because it was an ABC-Fox combo. So the first 2 hours in the morning we were ABC, and then we would switch sets and be Fox. So multiple times I would always throw to the reporter like ABC reporter when it was Fox and vice versa. So, but that was interesting. So we were live for 4 hours every morning, which anchoring for 4 hours straight is rough, but it's good experience, which is why I think they said they're bringing back the 6 o'clock newscast, which is great because the more repetition you guys get with bantering with each other and that kind of stuff, the better for your demo tapes and just experience in general. So I've attached part of this demo reel so you guys can see. So this was my last station. This is my last 2 years ago work. Kind of similar, same number.
The devastation here is just unimaginable, and as the sun begins to rise, we're starting to see the extent. The train is just finally moving after it's been stalled for about 2 hours this morning. A car was actually stuck underneath the train after it hit the train at around 4:30. A lot of people were worried yesterday about their homes being covered in dust and debris, and you can just take a look over at a few of these homes. They don't have much dust and debris at all. For many new parents, a big fear of theirs is getting behind the wheel of the car while their children are in the back seat. Now they not only have to worry about the current road conditions and other cars out on the road, they also have to worry about whether or not their child is properly fastened in their car seat. Thousands are still without power. Hundreds are still without a home, as you can see behind me. This was a mobile home park. Multiple fire crews have been battling the blaze for a little over 2 hours now. Joining me now is Fire Chief Ken Fusson. 5 people are dead. One 6-year-old is in a hospital, and the suspect was just pronounced dead moments ago. What we're about to do is surprise him and let him know that he was chosen our first ever Good Day Illinois Teacher of the Week. Let's go surprise him right now. He's in class with some students, so he has no idea that we are coming right now. One of the soldiers killed in the Fort Hood massacre 10 days ago is laid to rest today. Attorney General Lisa Madigan says all county clerks in Illinois have the right to start issuing same-sex marriage licenses immediately. In this particular case, a 6-year-old boy wandered out the door, which could have led to all sorts of negative consequences. Who ever study abroad?
I never studied abroad. Did you?
I didn't. I did go abroad, but I never studied while I was abroad. 2 shootings in Champaign in less than 3 days, and
I don't recommend that.
Was injured in the most recent one. Now Champaign police are investigating whether the two are related and still searching for suspects. Right now we are standing on the Air Evac Life Team helipad outside of Passavant Hospital here in Jacksonville. Now it is here where emergency medical personnel only have a matter of seconds to get inside this helicopter, fly to a scene of an accident, and try to save lives.
We want to get off the ground quick so we can get to our patients as quick as possible. work day in, day night, 24-hour shifts.
The fact that they can save people's lives in the back of a confined space.
These are your first responders. These are the people that when there's an accident out there on the interstate, or if your loved one's in the hospital and they need to go from one level of care to a higher level of care, these are the people who make it happen. They truly save lives.
Meet the Air Evac Life Team, an air EMS service that consists of highly trained medical personnel.
Usually an ambulance company will call us once they've assessed the scene or even just heard about, if there's a huge multi-car wreck and they think there's going to be casualties, they might call us before they've even assessed the situation.
Getting emergency calls covering 10 different counties. The Air Evac team can get to patients in emergency situations in a matter of minutes.
If that patient needs surgical interventions right away, we're able to get them to Springfield from here in 15 minutes.
Flight nurses Robin Duncan and Molly Taylor say the hardest part of their job is being away from their loved ones due to the 24-hour work shifts. But they say every minute spent saving a life is well worth it.
We want to be in and out with the patient in 10 minutes. You've only got 10 minutes to do what you need to do to help somebody out. So you have to be really quick, you have to be really on your game.
The Life Team nurses provide medical care in flight. However, the Air Evac team wouldn't be complete without a pilot.
Really, the primary job is just, staying in tune with the weather, making sure the aircraft's airworthy and, everything is working properly, and just being able to, make sure we provide a good, safe ride for our patient, for our crew, and get there in a safe manner.
It was a big surprise. I mean, first of all, we didn't know that she died.
All right, I'll stop it there too. The one thing in comparison to my work at UTVS and as you saw here, with morning show reporting, it was hard for me to have hard news packages because as morning reporter you're always live breaking the story, or hey, the shooting overnight happened. So that's why I had so much live shots of me here. I'm at this breaking scene, there was the fire, I never put a pack together in those because the dayside reporters would get the pack. They would take the stuff I got, the interviews I got, and would create a package. So that's one downside, I guess, of morning reporting. You get great live experience, but you don't get the killer packs. So a lot of my packages were either I guess you would say fluff stories, feature stories, some stories like the helicopter one you just saw was kind of a feature on the EMS team for flight. But other than that, those are kind of the two, I guess, differences with that. Feel free to ask questions too throughout. If you have any questions, just pop your hand up. Yeah?
What market size was this Illinois?
I think it was 84, I want to say. So yeah.
That's like reachable outside, right out of college, is that what
you know what's funny? When I was here, they said, here's your market range you can try for, and it was typically like 100 or higher. 100 would have been considered good, but that was kind of back then. Like Mark was just telling me, he's like, way back then people would have to start market 200 because they just didn't have the experience. But nowadays with the teaching here at St. Cloud, you guys are learning so much, running cameras, running teleprompter, producing. We're so already well versed in this industry that we are capable. That's one thing I can say. I was prepared out of college for market 84. I felt like I could do the job, minus live shots, which I was so nervous for my first live shot. Oh my gosh. I had zero experience, which I think you guys said trying to implement that here. But again, that was, market 84. So I don't want you guys to ever think you're limited to certain markets. I say apply. If you want to go there, apply there. You can apply to Care 11 if you want. Will they hire you? Maybe, maybe not. I say just, it's worth a shot. What do you got to lose, right? That's my motto. My life motto. What do you got to lose? You might as well try for it. Any other questions as I continue? Okay, so the job search continues. The lifelong job search continues. So where do you go next? So most places you go, you'll have contracts, 2-3 years maybe. Some are even 1, and you can't really break a contract. I've never heard of anyone. I mean, maybe really small markets, and your news director is nice about it. But I've never heard of that. I tried. But my contract was up, and you have to decide, do you want to stay here? Do they want to keep you? Sometimes they don't have to re-sign you if they don't like you. So there's kind of like a thing you always got to be on your toes. And that's the question you have to ask yourself when you get the job, where do you want to go next? And obviously, Minneapolis was my goal market. I didn't think I would get there as soon as I did, but that was always the goal. And Care 11 was the station I always grew up watching. It was either Care 11 or WCCO, the stations, the dream stations, right? So that was the goal, and of course I applied to them multiple times. I applied to every station in Minneapolis so many times. I even applied for like a janitor job once, I'm pretty sure. So again, you just got to keep trying, keep trying. So networking, this is a huge one that I will like live by. That's why it's in caps. Networking is so huge in this industry because who you know is who might get you your next job. And I'll also say, be nice to everybody who you know at UTVS. Be nice to everybody at every job you're at, because you never know who, what's the saying? It's like you're going to see the people on the way up as you see them on your way down. I think something like that. But that's so true, because people who were mean to me were like, hey, can you give me a job at CARE? And I'm like, you know what, maybe. I don't know if I will. I'll try. But again, no, you just got to be nice to everybody. And so networking, this is how I got my job at CARE. I was getting desperate. I had about 3 months left on my contract at Channel 20, and I wanted to move. I wanted to find the next market. I wanted to jump a market, at least market 50, or you kind of go the halfway mark, you think. And so then I reached out to, I applied. I didn't hear back from them for months because I applied maybe 6 months out of my contract being expired. And so I finally reached out to Brian Pyatt, who was a St. Cloud State alum, and I noticed he worked at CARE. And I reached out to him and just said, hey, here's my demo. I've always wanted to work at CARE. Can you give me some advice? It's my dream to work there. I'm looking to move. My contract's almost up. I never met Brian, nor have I ever, talked to him in my life. I literally just found him on Facebook, reached out to him, sent him a Facebook message, and the nice guy, I don't know if he's been, yeah, he's been here, so he's met some of you. Super nice guy. He looked at my stuff and was like, your stuff's great. I'll send it on to my news director. And I literally was like, oh my God, so great. He's sending it to the news director. And then I didn't hear back from him for a while, and I was getting nervous. And then I finally messaged him again and said, hey, what did she say? And he's like, she thought it was good. Here's her email. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going places. She thought it was good. And then I emailed her and said, hey, you saw my stuff. What do you think? Is there any job openings? And she's like, well, send me some more work, which is something you'll get. News directors want to see, so we polish these demo tapes to our best. They want to see what you just worked on. So you always kind of want to have some stuff, in the back burner that's good, because you have to be prepared. I was like, crap, I got to quickly figure out a top story or something to send CARE 11. I was freaking out. But then I just found some stuff. I sent it to her. Still didn't hear back. It was kind of like back and forth. Meanwhile, I was interviewing at places in Des Moines, KCCI, WHO, a few of their stations there. And long story short, I finally emailed the news director back. We were kind of emailing back and forth, and said, hey, I'm going to be in the area. I wasn't going to be in the area. I live 9 hours away. I was like, hey, I'm going to be in town on Tuesday. Or I just threw a day out. And I was like, can I stop by CARE and just meet you in person? And she's like, yeah, Tuesday works. So come on down, 9 a.m. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is really happening. I was like freaking out in my apartment. No one was there. So then I told my boss, because he knew I was like gonna leave my contract or stay. He was a nice boss, my news director at my Channel 20 station. And he gave me a sick day to go up and drive to CARE 11 and interview. He was like, good luck, kid. Didn't think I'd probably get the job, but he's like, well, market 15, that's awesome. Good for you. Looks good for our station. So he let me have the day off. I drove 9 hours there, went in for the interview. It wasn't even an interview, it was a meet and greet. Chatted with the news directors there, met people, walked around. And then it was weird because I was so nervous, but I also was like, what do I have to lose? You know what I mean? It was I felt very comfortable to be myself. Maybe it was the news director. She's very conversational. So from there, she's like, hey, we have a traffic reporter position open. I'm like, traffic? I don't really know. Okay, I can do that. I'll figure it out. I'm like, I'm open for it. And then she had me meet the other news director and the GM, and they're like, want to do a tryout right here, right now? And I'm like, sure, what do I got to lose? I drove 9 hours here, yet I'm in the area. So I did a little tryout. It was horrible because I've never worked in front of a green screen before. It was like, oh, wait. But I thought it was much pressure. I was nerve-wracking as like the general manager of CARE 11 and the news directors and everyone's watching. But I was like, whatever, what I got to lose? I'm just going to do my best and give it my all and say I did it, and at least I got an interview, right? So they're like, oh, good job, okay, cool. And then I left, started driving home back to Springfield, had to anchor the morning news the next day, so 9 hours on the road. And I got a call from this random number that same day, and it was Jane, the news director at CARE, and she said, hey, this is Jane from CARE. And I'm like, what? Did I forget my purse? What's up? And she's like, no, we want to give you the job. And I'm like, wait a minute, whoa. I'm like driving, like swerving. And she's like, we want to give you the job. We want to beat around the bush. We thought you were great. We think you'll be a great fit with the CARE family. And so I was like, oh my God, is this a prank call? And then she was like, here's your contract. We're mailing it to you right now. And literally I got my contract on my way home from the interview. So it was kind of like a weird, I still am baffled by it because it's kind of like a weird too good to be true situation, but it was traffic. I mean, it's not my dream job to be traffic, but it was my foot in the door and it was an opportunity I didn't want to pass up. So I accepted on the phone, and then I started calling everybody, and everyone thought I was lying to them, but it was wonderful. So I took the job at CARE, and it was so exciting. Morning traffic took a while to figure out what I was doing again with traffic. I never learned traffic here at school, but it's something I think you just figure out as you go. And from there, this is another thing, when you go to job interviews, always be vocal about who you are and what your goal is up front. Because at my last job, I was like, I want to be an anchor someday, and my dream job is CARE, and I want to be here someday, and this is, so always tell them what you want to be. If you want to be a feature reporter, that was kind of like, don't ever tell anyone you want to be a feature reporter. Well, I think that's also false, because feature reporting, I think, is more difficult at times than hard news. Hard news is facts. You get the facts, you spill them out to people in a understandable way, I guess. But feature reporting, you have to be creative. You have to get your shots right. Like Boyd Hooper stories. I'm sure you've all seen The Land of 10,000 Stories. Genius, right? That's hard to do. That's not something that you can just learn overnight. It takes practice and skill. So just always be vocal. I told everyone, I'm like, I love features and I like to be a goofball, yet I still love breaking news. This is just who I am, and you have to be proud of that. And everyone's different in their own way and has their own personality, but show that, because that's what they're hiring you for, your personality and what you can bring to the table. So anyways, I told them I want to anchor. Please let me anchor. So I started filling in anchoring. I went to them again. I said, hey, let me fill in for like weekends and evenings. They're like, okay, sure. And I'm like, oh gosh, okay. They took me up on that. So now I fill in on the evenings and weekends. I still do MMJ. I still report if like a reporter's on vacation all day, side report, all that jazz. It's a little more aggressive. When I first went at CARE, I was like, oh my God, I'm a small fish in a big pond situation. But with any market, it feels like that at first, and then you get repetition and you fit in with everybody else, I guess. And I do different segments. Metro Spotlight, I highlight different people out on their morning commute and their unique, weird, quirky stories. Car Care Tips, which is sponsored. A lot of news stations start sponsoring things to bring in money, but hey, I can say I bring in money to CARE 11. Sponsored by Car Soup. So every Thursday I give a different tip for car maintenance. So tomorrow it is heating. Does your heating work in your car? Well, I got your tip. Tune in tomorrow. And then Fall Fridays, I thought it'd be fun to bring something fun to the table, and that's what CARE kind of asked me to do. They're like, hey, we need something fun and crazy for the morning. So I'm like, hey, that's me. So every Friday, Melissa Colorado and I, we would do crazy. She's our breaking news reporter, excellent reporter. We would go and do something fun. We would do something fall related every Friday that families can go to. It's kind of like my road tripping segment. I kind of brought that over. So anyways, here's some clips of I think I put my first ever CARE story on here at first, I think. If this is right. Oh wait, never mind. This is a story I just did.
Catchy, huh? Yeah. Construction season, the Twin Cities was covered with orange cones and barrels, especially in the West Metro.
Yeah, and some still out there. Some drivers say this year was the absolute worst when it comes to construction-related traffic. Alicia hit the streets to find out in this week's Metro Spotlight.
Another weekend closure for Highway 100. Highway 100 has a lot of closures in the West Metro. You've heard me countless times, sounding like a broken record. Closure after closure.
No matter what area of the cities you're in,
you get stuck in traffic, and it's usually construction related.
Drivers in the West Metro still feeling the impact.
This road with the detour with, I think, what's going on 100 and stuff is just, it's bad.
100 is terrible right now. There's a lot of the exits that are closed off.
As one of the most congested freeways in the metro area, Highway 100 is still a work in progress. And even further in the West Metro, work on 494.
We've opened it up for the winter, and actually in the southbound direction, the part that they were working on this summer is actually opened up to 3 lanes all the way down to 55. So we've gotten a lot of compliments.
Despite the praise, MnDOT's West Area Manager John Griffith says they've received hundreds of complaints, specifically about both the Highway 100 and 494 projects.
The 2 big reconstructions side by side, both north-south routes, I think that probably has impacted folks more in the sense that they don't have a continuous commute down one of those. Obviously 169 is taking a brunt of that.
And to add fuel to the fire, Griffith says once motorists get through one construction roadblock, they end up at another.
That's been frustrating as much as our projects is at those local projects, and people feel that we haven't coordinated, but we have as best we can.
Local businesses like AAA Minneapolis along the 100 corridor have felt the impact of construction. They tell us, as for many Minnesota interstates, bridges, and roads, it is something that has to be done.
If you look at, this stretch a year ago versus now, just based on what they've opened recently with some of the lanes, the Minnetonka Boulevard Bridge, the difference is night and day.
Although MnDOT says both the 494 and Highway 100 projects are on track, they say next construction season will look similar.
When that work is done, people are really going to be happy because both of those projects had capacity. They had lanes, they help with that congestion.
So, is it really the worst traffic ever? Well, MnDOT tells us it's a balancing act, dealing with funding, timing, and coordination with local projects. And although next year will be similar with the 2 projects, 494 and 100, they assure us it won't be as bad. But again, it's definitely those projects that the impact is so huge on these motorists. But we wanted to hear from you, your thoughts on this construction season. Here's what a few of you had to say. David says it's not over yet. Diane tells us nightmare it was, next year is likely to be worse. Well, maybe we'll see, we'll find out. And Angie tells us, I've only lived in the Metro for 5 years, but this year construction was beyond the worst. I live by 35 East, so it was a nightmare. And of course, we want to hear from you. Join the conversation on our Carrollton Facebook and Twitter pages. And I also had some good positive ones, though. People saying the work on 100 and 494, those new lanes are looking great.
Probably about a 2.5–3 hour drive up north, so down and back, probably about 5 hours on the road.
This was my first package at CARE.
Feels good to me.
St. Louis Park resident Lauren Ropes is traveling more than 300 miles to spend Christmas with her family.
It's probably going to be maybe $30 to fill up a tank.
And with the lowest prices seen at the pump in 5 years, she is just one of the millions of Americans fueling up and hitting the road. And days leading up to Christmas Day tend to be the busiest, except on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
That time is usually pretty light traffic. There's not a whole lot of people going to work. A lot of people are taking it off. So probably not going to see a whole lot in terms of congestion.
From the streets to the sky, those traveling through MSP tonight and tomorrow have it easy.
The 23rd, maybe the 22nd, coming up to Christmas Eve, basically it's busy, and then Christmas Eve and Christmas, it's almost dead on Christmas for sure.
And for travelers flying out of state on Christmas Eve,
so far so good. Dropped off by the shuttle service, checked the bag, walked in, ready to go.
Alicia Lewis, KARE 11 News.
All right, I'll stop it there. So those are a few stories at CARE. And then I wanted to, am I going over my time? No. All right. Bloopers and fun. Okay, so I went into this industry because when I was younger, I thought it looked fun, watching the Today Show growing up. But then you get this sort of passion. Derek and I were talking about a lot of people leave the industry after so many years because it is stressful. You do have, deadlines every day at 5 and 6, and people aren't calling you back, and it's got this whole stressful side of it that kind of wears you down. But it's the passion and the drive, really, to want to make a difference in your community and be that watchdog for your community. And so, but anyways, I think as serious as news is, it is okay. I think some people think it's like a taboo, but it's okay to have fun on TV and, put a smile on your viewers' faces. They're not only tuning in for, the top stories, they also want you to put a smile on their face. So yes, it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to have fun. You should always be yourself. Show off your personality. Oh, and I have a typo. That's the irony. Bloopers with a typo in it. And fun stories. So I put together some times where I've screwed up on air, because it happens to all of us. And I thought it would be fun to show you my errors in life.
Now on Sunrise is the last day of the Great Minnesota Get-Together. We look at attendance so far and what it's meant for businesses outside the gates. Plus, the presidential campaigns heat up as summer winds down, and new polls show some new names giving the frontrunners a challenge. Good Monday morning. Today's Saturday, September 7th. It's Labor Day. I'm Alicia Lewis.
It's Monday, I think, right?
And it's Monday. What did I say?
It says Saturday in the prompter, though. I don't know why.
Did I say that? Oh my gosh. So I did. Are you tricking me?
He pranks me all the time. So
we're still waking up too. It's Labor Day. Nobody's watching.
Okay, he's right. All right. I thought you were pranking me on this one.
No, it's not even.
I need to drink my coffee. You do the weather.
What the humidity's going away as we speak this morning, so that's some good news.
Jack Black's Goosebumps creeped into the #1 spot at the box office. You met him. It ranked 23 million.
Wow. Matt Damon's The Martian continues to play strong, taking second place with over $21 million. Coming in third, Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks' real-life Cold War drama, Bridge of Spies, with $15 million. Corey, over the weekend I actually saw The Martian.
What did you
Brian and Sven. It was good. It was a little long. I actually fell asleep for about 5 minutes during the movie. I've never fallen asleep for a movie. It was a Friday night. I was tired. But it was a good movie still.
Well, just to go back there, you, Brian, and Sven.
Yeah.
You guys went to a movie.
Oh, I had to get
You didn't even call. You didn't even text.
McCormick.
A loser, right?
We're sorry. Next time.
Sven, what do you, Brian? You guys?
Sorry, Alicia didn't want to include you.
No, that's not.
We weren't supposed to talk about that.
Sorry.
He's on to us.
The Twin Cities 10 Mile on Sunday. We just got our packets today.
Yeah, we
got our
did.
race numbers.
We got all kinds of goodies inside our packets, including the Brandana, which there's multiple ways you can wear it.
Yes.
For the race.
And we're going to demonstrate how to do one of them on you right now.
Yep.
Okay. So
This one is the what is it called?
we tried this in the newsroom earlier.
Yeah.
So we're going to throw this on you.
Okay.
Look at this. Looks so nice. Okay. And then you twist it. Hold it down. Yeah, hold it
You
down.
need a partner with this.
Oh, I twist.
There's like
Twist.
8 different.
Our producers are like, what are you doing?
Then we just pull this down.
And you make a little...
Big Chang helping me earlier. It was a lot easier. No, there we go. It's working.
There you go.
Cool. There you
This is
go.
one of the fashions for the marathon 10 mile.
Here. I got you. I'll make sure you look good.
I like it.
There you
It keeps
go.
you warm because it's supposed to be a little chilly in the morning.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little cool.
You're ready to rock.
Yeah.
We love it. Big that. She's the executive director for the Twin Cities Marathon. I talked to her this morning. They're working hard, getting the race all ready to go. So
Gonna be busy.
good luck to everybody that's running out there this weekend.
Hi, I'll say hi to mommy.
This is our Fall Friday business.
All right, break is over.
You take Rudy, baby. You're supposed to say
Oh, wonderful. 641.
So this is one of the Fall Friday packages.
We're talking Oktoberfest. There are things that you guys can do out there. Celebrations happening all across the country. In fact, last weekend at the State Fairgrounds, we had the Twin Cities Oktoberfest.
It was a lot of fun too. Melissa Collar and I went to it, learned all about the rich history, we even dressed the part. But Corey, we couldn't leave Oktoberfest without learning all about the beer. What makes a good German beer?
Well, the
good German brewer makes a good German beer, okay? And they traditionally have been lighter beers, but in America we've actually come in and go a little heavier Oktoberfest beers. So we feature Summit beers here, excellent beers. They've got an outstanding Oktoberfest. We also have their Pilsner and various other beers available.
Do you know why beer is so popular with Oktoberfest?
It was the celebration of the wedding of Prince Ludwig and Therese in Germany, in Munich, and it was a 7-day celebration. And what do you do when you celebrate?
You drink?
Yes, yes.
All right, so people wondering maybe why I'm holding this hammer. We're going to do a ceremonial keg tapping.
Yes, the first keg here for Twin Cities Oktoberfest. You guys are going to tap it for us.
All right, look forward to it. Now, last time I tapped a keg was in college, so you're going to have to walk us through this.
Sorry, St. Cloud.
Now you are going to tap this.
When I was of age.
You are really going to have to tap that, okay?
I'm going to hit it hard.
Yes, you are. I do too.
Eins, zwei, drei. Again.
Take the beer. It's bad luck not to drink after you toast. You got
To say we didn't have fun with there. So much fun. In fact, they actually gave me this sweet mug at Oktoberfest. And a lot of celebrations, you can find ancestorians. They talk about your family history, your last name. And Lewis is actually from Wales, so it's a Welsh last name. And that's my family's coat of arms in Colorado. It's Spanish, so she has a mug too. It's pretty cool, so you get to learn about yourself, the German heritage, so much fun.
Sorry, I just still thinking, the last time I tapped a keg was in college.
Sorry, Mom. She's just shaking her head at home right now. Like, ooh.
That education money went to.
Alicia, there are a ton.
All right, this is the last one, I promise.
Including a ton of fair fashion, including us. That's right. Are looking for those best looks that the state fair has to offer.
Melissa and I edit all these, so we have fun.
So we're at Care Barn,
editing.
And we're talking fair fashion, people, and I'm pretty sure Jim Worthing here, Care employee. What are you rocking?
I'm a fashion animal. I mean, it's Hawaiian shirts. As we say, some of us are just slaves to fashion.
We spotted fanny packs, fair fanny packs. It's a fashion mark. What inspired your outfits today?
Being able to find our kids and keep control of them.
And your husband?
Yeah.
This guy loves fried food.
It says, never underestimate the power of stupid people in large groups.
You're so fast. Are people getting a kick out of this when you're walking?
I've had, let's see, 5 people have said awesome, or I like your shirts, or I want one of those.
Corny. That's good.
Yeah, that's really good.
What inspired this cowboy look today?
This is what I wear every day.
Whoops.
Blinded by this cane here.
Look at this. And they're real, genuine, fake diamonds. We have to be a fashion statement.
You got the fair.
Oh, yes. You people watch, you eat what you're not supposed to, and feel crappy the next day, but it's okay.
All right, those are the fun side of journalism. Let's see. Okay, so now this is the Q&A session. Feel free to fire them off, ask me anything. I'm here to answer your questions. Yeah.
Okay, so being a person that graduates at Maine, you were a Maine graduate too, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
2012.
When did you start like applying for like serious jobs as opposed to just kind of like, oh, I'm just gonna send my stuff out just kind of see, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know right after, because it's busy when you're, finals, and it's so hard to work in job. Like I had 2 jobs at the time, finals. It was stressful times. I wanted my demo to be, spot on, perfect, as all of you do. I think I was in here for a few weeks after graduation, even putting final touches on. As you saw, in that, I made I'm gonna call them my kits. I had a matching resume to a matching demo reel. And it's funny because a lot of news directors I asked, both in my my old news director and my current. I said, do you even look at the snail mail? And they're like, realistically, no. We typically just click a link because it's just easier than taking a DVD out, putting it in. But I think I knew that because you guys even told us that, they just like the links. But it's still nice to send them. It's almost a reminder. So, oh, Alicia Lewis, that name's familiar. I saw 17 emails from her. But I started working on it. Well, obviously we had to have a final demo for, I think, Reg's class. You have to have your final demo and he watches it and kind of critiques it, which is so great. But even then, after he critiques it, you almost want to go back and kind of tweak it a little bit. So I made like 50 copies of it. For some reason, I still have about 25, so if you want one, feel free to take one. And then I just started sending them out probably right after. It was my mission to just get them out there. I applied all over the United States. I applied to Texas, Colorado, everywhere. Everywhere and anywhere. I was willing, and you're more likely to land a job right away too if you're just willing to go anywhere, really, because you will get one. It's just you have to keep calling, keep sending. In this industry, it's really about timing. When the job's open, they fill it, and sometimes when the job's not even open, they are looking because a reporter's contract's up and they're like, oh, they're leaving, so we're gonna not post it yet, but we're gonna keep our eyes peeled. So even if you have a market in mind and it doesn't have any openings, send your stuff and bug the news director anyway. That's my 2 cents. Yeah.
What's your typical schedule like at Care11?
I wake up in about 5 hours from now. No, I wake up at 2:30. I have 3 alarms, 2:30, 2:40, and 2:50. They're my enemy. And I get to work at 3:30. Get ready in the makeup room they have there. And then I get to my desk by 4 a.m. and start reading through my scripts. And then from that point, I anchor the 4:30 news. Sven and I do that show. And then from 5 to 7, we do our sunrise show. And then after that, we do commercial cut-ins during the Today Show. And so depending on the weather, Sven and I might do, live cut-ins of traffic and weather because the roads are bad and we want to inform people. Otherwise, we tape them, and they're pre-taped. Well, mine's live because traffic changes like in a matter of seconds. But then I go out and shoot some stuff. I'll go shoot a Fall Friday shoot, or I'll go do a package on anything, really. They're pretty lenient about the packages I do. I just pitch them to my executive producer and say, hey, this is happening. I did a story about burn victims at HCMC, and it made it to USA Today's top of their website. So, and I'm kind of getting off track. But anyways, I finish work at noon. So from 4 to noon.
Okay. So, when did you get hired for your first job?
It was a long time. I remember, I'm trying to think back. October, May, June, July, August, September, October. So 6 months. I got the call. And it was funny because I went to the interview and they didn't call me for like months. And I was like, I didn't get the job. Oh my God. But then they called and I got the job. So it's a progress. It's a work in progress when you're applying for jobs. And I recommend, even if you have a demo tape you're working on, before you're graduating, you're getting yours ready, start sending it. If you have some work that you know what's going to be on there, they only watch the first 2 minutes and have one package, if that 2 minutes. They don't give you much time, and they can see your potential within the first few seconds even of it. And then some news directors, like I said, they go off your voice. Some go off your looks. I've heard stories of news directors just watching it and not even having the audio on. So they're kind of, it's an interesting world, I guess, so to say. Any other questions? Derek.
I have a question. How do you do traffic?
How do I do traffic?
Tell us, because I have no idea.
Well, I didn't either. No, just kidding. We use the same system as weather. So we use Max for weather. It's called Max system, I don't know. And I use it for traffic, and it's pretty much the same. If there were meteorology students in here, they'd be like, oh yeah, totally. But it all is generated, by the moment. So as the temperature goes up, it regenerates. So it went up 1 degree. So it's not like Sven sitting there typing in, it just went up a degree. It's all generated for you. Same with traffic. And how they figure out delays I figured this out because I was like, how do they know when traffic's slow on certain roads? Well, there's obviously GPS, but in most of the main metro, like the major highways, there's coils in the roads that can track how many cars are kind of sitting on it, and it'll determine, you know, how long it's going to get you to 694 to 494 to so-and-so. So I pretty much go off this traffic system similar to weather, how they kind of track radar or something like that. And it's pretty basic in terms of if it's green, it's fast. If it's yellow, it's medium. But it's cool too because it generates crash information. So the same information I'm getting in my traffic system is the same information the Department of Transportation is getting, and we kind of work together too. I have like a thing I'll tell people: when you're new to a market, it's good to go and meet and greet the people you're talking to. So my last market, I went to the police station, the fire station, made cupcakes, went and, hey, hi, I'm new to town, I'm a reporter, I'm going to be in contact with you, here's a cupcake, please be nice to me situation. I did that with MnDOT, so I went to MnDOT, I'm like, hi, show me how your traffic things work, because I have no idea. And I learned so much. I sat with them for like 3 hours, learned the different traffic cameras, where they're at. So I typically use traffic cameras to show real-time footage of the roads, and then my map system that's generated by this company that keeps it up to date, so to speak. And then it's similar to meteorology. You just go in front of the green screen. I got my monitors pointing at things, which I still am figuring out. But other than that, it's pretty, I mean, after a while, you get the hang of it. Yeah.
I might not know this, but like what market size do they start having a traffic anchor? Like when you were at Market 84?
There was no traffic. Yeah, no. There was like one car on the road there. I think it's top 20 markets, I would say. I saw one when I was interviewing at KCCI in Des Moines. I woke up to watch the news, which is also good. But before you go to an interview, study the station like nobody's business. Like learn what their motto is. Just know everything. They don't ask you about that, but it's just good to kind of know a background because they're assuming you know everything about the market, what stories they just covered. But Des Moines had a traffic reporter, which I thought was interesting because I was like, Des Moines, that's like Market 80. But they have a business early morning, tight-knit, interesting, if you've ever been there. And it was crazy because I was like, how do they have traffic? It's Des Moines. Like, what? Where am I? So I think it kind of depends on the tightness of the city, in a sense. Any other? Yeah.
Oh, no, ladies first.
Oh.
When did you do that? Was that
I think for a credit. That internship was like, you can do credit. I think it was my junior year. I definitely wanted to take advantage of that because it was credits and it was a real world experience of just, production. Did you have a question?
Yeah, so when you move up to Care 11, like, do you have like production people like shoot and edit stuff for you and you just go out and report, or do you have to go and shoot and edit your own stuff?
It's kind of a mix. For like the stuff that I'm in, obviously I have to have a photographer because I can't, it's hard to do your own shots of yourself. But most of my stuff, like that first package you saw of traffic, worst construction season ever, that I shot all that, edited all that. Most of the time I do all my own shooting and editing because it's nice because with morning show I don't really have a time crunch as so much as the dayside reporters. You have that time crunch. You have to have your story ready by 5 or 6 or else, you got to make your cut time. So that's the one perk. I have like a few days to get my work done. I normally will go out, like today I shot an interview this morning. I'll probably edit a story tomorrow. So I normally shoot stuff in one day and write and then edit one day.
About editing, coming from here to your first job and then to Care 11, the editing programs.
Yes.
Now I know a lot of people they want to use their one program, and I'm pretty sure you didn't use just one program, right?
No, this is my 3rd different editing system that I've had to learn.
So talk about that whole.
So here originally we used Avid, and then we switched to Final Cut, and then we had Final Cut when I graduated. And then my first job out of college had Avid again, and I was like, crap, I remember Avid a little bit, so I had to relearn Avid. And then Care uses Edius, which I was like, Edius? So I was a little freaking out with that. But they're all very similar in terms of ins, outs, cuts, and as you go, you get to learn the cool editing techniques. Over time, you get more proficient at it, I guess. So it's something to be scared of. Also, YouTube is so wonderful, by the way. I love YouTube. I would Google or YouTube like, hey, how do I do this in Avid? How do I do this in EDIUS? And it pretty much teaches you. So before I even started at CARE, I had like a few days, I was like studying YouTube videos of EDIUS. Same with my other job. I had 2 weeks to kind of move and settle, and I would focus on Avid YouTube videos and take notes, and just to feel more at ease, I guess, on your first few days of work. Any other questions?
Do you think EDIUS is a lot easier than Final Cut? Any other ones?
I think, well, it's funny, if you would have asked me when I first started learning, I'd be like, it's horrible. But after doing all of them, they're all so similar. They have different styles, I guess. But once you learn it, they're all very similar in a sense. I think Final Cut's mostly used in production companies, and Avid is also like movies, and I think most news stations are using either Avid or EDIUS. I haven't heard of any using Final Cut. I'm sure there is though. So just kind of be alert of, hey, oh my goodness, this station doesn't have my camera I used or the editing system I had. But those are all things, and they understand that too, that you'll learn on the job. And coworkers are very helpful in time when you're a newbie, when you're a noob.
What responsibilities do you have to promote yourself or to do community events to help promote the station?
Yeah, that's kind of like a hidden thing in your contract. They just want you to know. This is something I didn't know either. Once you're an on-air personality, you're the face of almost that community and your station, and you have to do sorts of community events. I just did a gala. I was the host of a gala, which are things you don't ever learn. I was so nervous too, by the way. But these are things you don't learn. You kind of just, as you get involved in communities and stories that you're involved with, like I did that story about, like I just told you about the burn kids at HCMC, this organization, Firefighters for Healing, donates money and helps buy these kids toys, and they're involved in their lives. And they asked me to be part of their nonprofit. And hey, can you host this gala? And so you definitely really get involved in your community, which is great, which is what we're all about. And at these events, it's great too, because you network, you meet people, you get story ideas, and it kind of snowballs from there. You're always kind of, I've done multiple community events now and they're all great because they're all nonprofits. It's like a good give back situation, which is also great for storytelling, getting ideas and all that.
But the station has expectations for that?
Yeah, and we do community service events as a station. So they anticipate that you're going to be, in the job interview, it's pretty much, are you community oriented? Are you about, because that's what it's all about, journalism, truly. It's about your community, the stories that impact your community, and why they should care, and it's about making a difference too, in a positive way, I guess, for your community. Any more tough questions?
How do you schedule on the weekends?
Fridays, if I want to have like a Friday night, a normal time of going to bed, I typically have to nap on a Friday after I get off, because I get off at noon. But other than that, it's pretty, if I get a nap in, I'm okay. And then sleeping in, which is like till 8 in the morning, because I'm so used to waking up at 2:30. But it's pretty easy after, I've been doing the mornings for 3 years, so I feel like I'm getting the hang of it. A little bit, I guess.
Oh, okay. Do you have any opinions about agents? Because that's something some other speakers said, and they're like, oh, when you get up there, but it helps so much, but you have to give them so much of your
a good chunk of your pay. It's funny because I still, like, everyone's like, oh, you need an agent if you want to get in top 20 or top, I don't know. I was like, what? I don't want an agent. I personally didn't want an agent because you already, as a reporter or a journalist, you already make so little. They warn you, and it's true. And to have to give a chunk of what the little things you make, that's something you have to decide on down the road. But I think as newcomers, honestly, I don't think you need it. There's jobs out there. Write this down, newsblues.com. Best site. I literally use that for every job search, every interview. Here, can I pull it up?
Yeah, do it.
How do I exit this? Yeah, I don't remember. I think Reg is the one who pointed me to News Blues, and anytime I was like, oh, what jobs are open, what's going on? It shows the market size, what stations are out there. But anyways, to answer your question, I think it depends, and down the road, as you develop your career, people might approach you, and like I've had 2 agents come to me and be like, hello, I'm so-and-so, give me your money. And that's something that you as a depends on where your goal is, where you want to be. Like if you want to be at the Today Show or Good Morning America or something like that, then maybe down the road, consider it. But I don't think you need one necessarily. You can promote yourself better than anybody else. That's my theory. And for cheaper. Okay, so newsblues.com. It kind of also talks about like news markets in general, but I was like, oh, I want to work in, let's see. So this is what I was like, Illinois, how about Illinois? It's not too far from home. You click on it, it shows you the market. So here's Chicago, here's all the stations in Chicago. Champaign, Springfield, this is where I went. So 85, market 85. And so on. Peoria it kind of goes in order of from small market or big market to small market. And then I literally would be like, okay, I could live in Springfield. I would click down each one and see what jobs were open. So here, let's click on the one I went to. It gives you the news director's name, what jobs are available, staff bios. I would be like, oh, who did they hire before? Like, you'll all do this too. It's kind of like the crazy reporter thing you do. It gives the phone number, not that I ever called stations, but so jobs available. And then it brings you to like their employment. It should bring you to their employment page, what's open, who owns it, Sinclair. You can see that after. It's slow, but it's a good website if you're looking for jobs and wanting to. So here it shows, look at it, there's a MMJ weekend producer position open. You click on it, so on and so forth, apply. It makes applying to jobs so much easier. Because it's free too. I know there's other ones that cost money.
Because all the other ones cost a crap ton.
Yeah, like TV jobs and stuff. It's like, psh. No thank you. But I mean, you can still do that one. It's great. More questions. Rapid fire. Keep them coming.
You're working at one of the biggest news chains. Is there advantages, or is there a job path within a chain? Most stations are part of some kind of a chain, but you're in a...
Yeah. You mean like the ownership, like Tegna or Gannett?
Yeah, I mean,
well, the one thing with like ownership, so there's big ownership names. So we used to be Gannett, now we're Tegna. Any Tegna-owned station, this goes with any really ownership of a station. So say I worked at Sinclair Broadcasting at my last market. If I wanted to leave before my contract was up, you can easily leave and go to another Sinclair Broadcasting station because it's technically within the same company. So there's a kind of like little path you could take if you wanted to leave the station. So I was looking into other Sinclair broadcast companies when I wanted to leave, so on and so forth. But with an NBC, so when you're an affiliate like NBC, ABC, Fox, there's also that way too. So if like I'm at NBC, we have connections to the Today Show and NBC Network. And so like Blake McCoy, I don't know if that name rings a bell, he's so great. He just went to LA, he's a news correspondent up in LA now for NBC, and he was from CARE. So I don't think he has an agent. Maybe he does. I'll have to ask him. But he might have an agent actually. Because when you get that, agents are nice because they help you negotiate salaries. It's easier with that sense of things. But yeah, so there's a connection, I guess. There's a nice, the bigger the market, the more connections. And once you get into the TV industry, it's a small world. It's really weird. You'll know someone at, oh, I know so-and-so from this station who knows so-and-so. It's like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
How many alumni from here is that Care 11?
Oh my goodness. Sven, Brian. There's so many producers and like web people that I couldn't even name. Jeremiah Jacobson, I don't know if you know that name. Gosh, who else? I don't think any other anchors. Like Jeff Passold, I guess, is from Fox. Or he's Fox, but he was St. Cloud. What's that?
Oh, a ton of production people there also from St. Cloud.
Yeah, so many production people. There's so many producers there that it's like, I can't even. But on air people, I know 4. Yeah.
Like throughout the industry, have you seen a lot of St. Cloud alumni? You've only met 2.
Yeah, well, I was just telling Derek, I was like, it's crazy how many people from because your UTVS group kind of goes with you throughout the years, right? It's kind of like high school in a weird way. You got your group. And my group, pretty much, I feel like everyone got a job. It was super strange. I mean, we were all, it wasn't strange, but everyone pretty much got a job. Whether it was, a lot of people went up to Duluth, like 4 or 5 people. Andrea Hubble, did she speak here?
Yeah, just like a couple years ago.
Oh yeah, she was at CARE. She visited me at CARE. She's in where, Florida? Fort Myers. So yeah, so people are all over. And you'll find once you graduate, as stressful as that is you'll get a job. I'm very promising of jobs because I know there's so many jobs out there. It's crazy in reporting, especially in like smaller mid-sized markets. So you'll get one. You just gotta find the one, I guess.
Were you wanting to get out of Minnesota, or were you did you apply to say Duluth and Rochester or what?
I did. You know what's funny? I didn't apply to Duluth. That's the one. I think I wanted to get out and just experience the world a little bit. But it's hard because I wanted to get out but not be too far away, and so I kind of got lucky with Illinois. And I also had a boyfriend, or I have a boy. He's still my boyfriend. But that also kind of plays a role too. If you're serious with someone, you have to kind of work that out. And so he got a job in Illinois, I got a job in Illinois, and we both kind of worked it out. Cute.
So you're gonna look to go anywhere?
What's my goal?
Yeah.
You know, the goal originally when I was little was the Today Show, but I don't know. It's good to be home. After you go away and report and you're working Christmas every year and Thanksgiving, and I literally started like going to work in the food banks, and because I didn't have I was like, I'm gonna go help out and volunteer, which is great by any means, but you miss family. And for me at least, everyone's story is different. Some people are go-getters and want to go to New York and LA or Chicago, but family was important to me, and I wanted CARE to be like my end market and settle down in a sense. But I mean, I never say never. Not to quote Jay Beebs. But yeah, today's show would be the goal. If I were wanted to leave, yeah.
How'd you go about doing that?
I think I would consider an agent. At that point, if I wanted to go to market, it's #1 market, and they literally get so many people. But it's weird. It's such a small world. Like my 2 producers for the morning show were Tamron Hall's producers before, and so there's so many funny connections to people. Now Blake, who I worked with, we're friends. He's a network reporter, and so it's all about it's all about who you know and networking too. Hearsay, word of mouth. This person's great. They have a great personality. Watch their stuff, and then you could get a call any second. So, yeah, it's all about who you know. Network. Yeah.
So, I guess as a reporter too, but more is when you anchor in the mornings, how important is like your relationships with the producers?
It's funny, my producer for the 4:30 a.m. newscast is in overnight, and then he leaves. It's Jeremiah Jacobson. He produces my 4:30 show. I don't even see him. So our overnight producing staff, there's about 4 or 5 of them. They kind of look it over, make sure the top stories from the morning are in there. So for him and I pretty much trust him, and people like the producers at CARE are, I'm never gonna go up to them and be like, excuse me, I think they're pretty good with their stuff. Occasionally I'll catch something and we'll talk, or I'll send in an email, but for the show I'm not anchoring and that I'm doing traffic in, we're all together for the whole morning. So we communicate throughout the morning with breaking news with the reporters, with ideas. After the morning show, we kind of do what you guys did after your show. We talk, hey, this was bad, this was good, what are we doing tomorrow, type of thing. So it's a funny though, because you'll hear this in this industry after you get out there. We're in the business of communication, but we're the worst at it within your own, everyone's kind of focused, like the reporter's doing her thing, the producers are doing their thing, the anchors are reading their scripts, and we're talking about communication, but we're all just on our own thing. So it's really important to have a successful newsroom communicates together. It's flowing.
Did Jeremiah start out as a producer there?
He started out as a reporter. Yeah, and then he was the anchor for the 4:30 show. And now he's producing the 4:30 show. And he reports occasionally.
He still looks like he's 16.
Yes, I did, and he's like 30. I was like, he's not 30 something. He looks young.
I know, that was the only thing he had against him when he graduated, is he looked like he was 16.
Yeah.
He told him that. So
he still does. Yeah, that's one thing they do in my first contract. They talk about like owning your face. They own your looks. So my first boss made me, you saw my hair in my UTVS reel, it was like to here. She made me cut it. She said, you got to cut your college hair. And those are her words exactly. But it's funny because you'll get news directors that don't care. Like KARE 11, they don't care unless I dye my hair purple. It can be as long, short. So, but yeah, my first news director, she was, as nice as she was pretty strict. Also, I did get a clothing and makeup allowance for my first job.
Nice.
KARE 11, no, they don't pay for that. I know, it's a joke.
Like, kind of going off that, do you do your own hair and makeup?
I do for, the morning show, and then for photos and like promotional shoots, we have Bonnie, our makeup lady. She does airbrushing. Yes, to cover all my wrinkles, my early morning wrinkles.
Did you have a contract in Springfield?
I did. It was 2 years. 2 years. And KARE, I have a 3-year contract. They kind of got me off guard in the car ride right after I left. You want a job? Okay, I'll do anything. Oh my God. But yeah, don't be afraid to negotiate. That's one thing I always never did, because I kind of was just right out of college. I got the job, market 85. Oh my gosh. And then KARE calls. Oh my gosh, sure, I'll do whatever. I feel like when someone's offering you a job, they're typically offering you, I think, the lowest, maybe. That's my theory. I don't know. Don't be afraid to ask for more, I swear, because I'm sure you'll get at least a little bit. You'll get a little push. I never did. Not that I'm regretting it, but, looking back, maybe I would have been like, hey. But yeah, don't be afraid.
It's too long, you think, for a first contract?
No, I think that's pretty typical. It's rare to get one. If anything, you're lucky to get one, but I think 2 years, you need 2 years. 3 for your first contract, that's a little long, I think. Because at my 2nd year mark, I felt I was already feeling in anchoring. I knew the editing. You're good at that point. When I first started, I almost wanted to. It was tough for me my first 6 months. I didn't know if I wanted to stay in the industry, to be honest. Reporting live shots was getting to me. Seeing my first dead body story and having to go knock on the door of the family and tell them and ask them questions and poke and prod. That's stuff you don't really get day-to-day experience in college. Going to see, reporting on murders and deaths on traffic incidences and all that kind of stuff, fires. So it kind of was like, oh, this is real. Wow, this is real life. This is real reporting. And so I had to and that's where we see people leaving the industry. They can't handle that and handle that pressure. And that's where that's the deciding factor. Is this something you want to do? Is this something you want to stay and continue? So those are all questions I asked myself, but I stuck with it and it got better. I promise it gets better if you stick with it.
You said you were really nervous doing your live shots. What are some tips you can tell us?
I say, well, Reg does it in his reporting class. I remember he did it only a few times, and I wish he did it more because I never got the chance to do it. But he would poll a student and say "Yeah, you come up here," and he would say, "We're on a breaking news scene," and he would give you a scene he was like the cop, and you had to ask him questions. So the who, what, where, when, why. He gives you a little card to remember, and you have to ask, what happened, what went down, and then you get 10 minutes to put it together because this is real life. Breaking news happens. You were working on a pack, and that pack is now out the window. You spent your whole day trying to put this package together, and your boss is like, "Oh, you have to do this breaking news. Go on that's breaking news." And you're like, "Oh my God, I just spent all day editing this pack, and now it's not even going to air." You want to freak out. But getting that experience of getting real quick information and doing it in front of a class is the best experience I think St. Cloud can give you guys, I think you guys are also talking about doing possible live shots. I don't know. But practice, 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 because the more you do it in front of people, like a crowd like this size of a class, the more comfortable it would be, because typically it's just you and a camera person, but in your head you're like, oh my gosh, thousands, like you come from UTVS, I don't know how many viewers we get, a few of your parents and maybe a grandparent, I don't know how many people watch UTVS news. Or isn't it? It's pretty good though, isn't it?
Gary watches.
Gary! Oh, is he still here?
He's so called like yesterday.
Oh my gosh! He was my first. It's funny because I went to like IHOP and here when I was at college, and Gary was there, and he's like, Alicia Lewis! Oh my god! I'm like, oh my gosh, this is my first like fan experience, and it was Gary. Oh, I love him. Awesome. But yeah, so practice live shots in a group setting. Even practice in front of your friends. Give each other some, like, there's a house fire on blah, 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 blah. 3 people were inside. Just spit off some stuff and then practice. But yeah, that's my live shot advice, I guess. No matter what, I think you're so, like, anyone was still going to be nervous in their first job, their first live shot. It's normal though. Everyone is nervous. And everyone screws up. As you saw, I screw up. I screw up every day. But you wake up and do it again the next day and get better.
Did you have a major market out in your contract? Or were you at the end of the contract?
No, you know what's funny? I didn't have a major market out, which means after so long you can get into like a top 50 market or something like that. If you got a job, you could leave your contract without having to pay any fines or anything like that. But no, I didn't have that. So I was in it for the long haul, my whole 2-year contract. I was almost gonna stay there too. It was kind of because I became the morning anchor. So that was almost like, ooh, should I stay? It was kind of a tough thing, but gosh, it was the best ever, driving home 9 hours and going back to my boss and saying, hey, I got a job at CARE, and he's like, you got the job? And then he said, you must have been a good interview. I was like, thanks. Any other questions about the industry, about, you want to know the dirt on Sven or anything? No. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
He's back though, isn't he?
Yeah, he got back today. Yep. Good. I haven't been able to talk to him. I mean, I was texting him. I sent him a picture. I saw his face on the thing. I'm like, hey, you're on the wall. And he's like, hey. It went well, though. He loves it. He loves that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Do you read what people say about you on social media or anything like that?
That's one thing I wish I didn't. The haters. Mean tweets. Oh, well, one of my favorite ones. Well, when I said I was coming to St. Cloud, I tweeted it out, and one guy wrote, I even saved it and sent it to people. Mean tweets. I wanted to do a whole Jimmy Kimmel thing. It was something like, what is she going to teach? I can't find it. It was something like, what is she going to teach him how to be a clown masquerading as a journalist? Womp, womp. I wanted to, like, if they had a clown emoji, I would have sent that back to him. But yeah, so some people hate the fun, which is why I even that's the whole reason I made that fun blooper section, because it's okay to have a personality on TV. In fact, I think that's the reason CARE hired me, because I was just a normal, hello, crazy, wild person, and was myself in the interview.
Probably a failed journalist.
What's that?
Probably a failed journalist.
Yeah, exactly. And someone else, what did someone else say? Oh, they say traffic reporters, ... because they couldn't become real reporters. So that was one that I was like, ooh, ooh, ooh. And then people comment on looks, like, oh, that crazy woman wrote a long message about how I looked like a 14-year-old trying to be an adult, and my shirt sucked, and whoever does my makeup does a horrible job, and I'm like, that's me. But yeah, you get a lot of mean comments, but you kind of have to just ignore it. That's one thing you also aren't prepared for until you're out there. You're putting your face out there, so it's definitely going to come in. You're going to get a lot of praise too, though. People are going to be nice, but as the saying goes, every 10 nice things people say, that one mean thing sticks out the most. Or is that what that saying goes? I don't know. Or it takes 10 nice things to replace the one mean thing. I don't know. But yeah, you get something. But yeah, you get a lot of haters.
What about like safety?
Safety?
Yeah, like.
CARE actually has security guards to like walk us in the morning, which is nice, especially after that shooting. They like hyped up the security of that reporter and her photographer. Definitely scary stuff. It's interesting in small markets. I would be an MMJ out on a murder scene. I'd get a call at 1 a.m. Hey, go to this scene. There was a stabbing of a 14-year-old girl. I'm getting an overnight call. It's a small market, so I'm like the overnight photog. Plus, I'm the morning reporter, so they're like, "We'll just send Alicia. She'll get footage and report on it." And it's scary because I was by myself at a stabbing scene. The suspect on the loose. Like I literally was like, "Oh yeah, what was that noise?" Like so. But any news station, the news directors are very like, "Tell us if you don't feel safe. They'll send you a photog." At CARE, like on weekends when I report, I never am an MMJ. They always have a tag team duo. Do you guys do tag teams here with reporter photog?
Sometimes.
Not anymore?
We used to, but now it's one-man band or one woman.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. There's one nice thing though, maybe do it one time because it's interesting when I go out with a photographer. It's hard because I'm a photographer and then I'm looking over their shoulder like, wait, what shot are you getting? Are you making sure you're getting this shot over here? Because I want to put this shot over. So it's like, it's interesting to work together when you're a tag team, I guess.
You ever see Reg out in the field?
No, I don't. I wish I did though. I haven't yet seen him since I've moved back.
Wow.
It would be interesting.
About 4 blocks from his house.
What's that?
That shooting was about 4 blocks from his house.
What shooting? Oh, the protest. Oh, Jamar Clark.
Clark, yeah.
Oh, so he was the first on the scene. Oh gosh. Any other questions? Yeah.
What kind of reporter stories did you put in your reel?
In my first reel?
Yeah.
I did, well, like I said, it was kind of hard because the morning reporting, I couldn't get the breaking news unless I was filling in dayside because I always was the one at the breaking news scene. So I would put, I put that helicopter one because I thought I shot it well, and then I threw in some nat pops. I had a murder one with this woman who was mysteriously murdered, but it was like a lot of these stories, I mean, they weren't the best, but it was a hard news. And I would always put a funny story. I even put a weird story in my demo reel out of UTVS about Movember. And I had the dumbest stand-up, and I cannot believe I put this on my demo. You remember that app that did a mustache thing? Yeah. I did that in my stand-up. I'm like, blah, 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 blah. It was so bad. Oh, and my most famous story out of St. Cloud. Do you remember this, Derek? 2-ply or not 2-ply? It was about the toilet paper here on campus. Yeah. You guys, I almost want. Should I show it?
Yeah.
Do you have time to watch it?
Yeah.
It's. Well, okay. Premise. Someone came into the newsroom with a tip, and it was this. And so Jen and I, all the news people are sitting around, they're like, I got a tip. I swear the toilet paper in Atwood is better than the toilet paper everywhere else on campus. And we're like, that's stupid. Why would St. Cloud buy different toilet paper for one building and not anywhere else? So then I was like, I'm going to look into this. My investigative self. And then I just walked over to Atwood and found their janitor manager person. I'm like, hey, do you guys have 2-ply toilet paper here different than everywhere else? And she's like, yeah, we buy the nice toilet paper for. I'm like, what? Story. So it was it was my most viewed story at St. Cloud ever. It had 200 views, was a hot story. Oh, did it? Oh no. Oh, we don't have to watch it, I guess.
It's blinking. It might be still warming up.
Is that a clap on? As it's waking up, any other questions about stories? Storytelling? Editing? No, it's really easy and quick. Well, it depends on if you want. At CARE, I swear, everything's beautifully shot, and there's nat sounds and crazy edits, and they're so quick, it's ridiculous. So I try to make it as CARE-esque as possible in terms of a breaking news story. But features, those always took me a little bit longer to put together because they're harder stories to tell. It's someone's baby that died, and you're supposed to share their story. So the way you want it to be written, the visuals you want to go with what you wrote, it all plays a part. So it probably takes me an hour to edit a pack to that.
So fast.
Oh, fast. Yes. Tell that to my boss. Yeah, so start saving now. I learned on my second demo tapes to like with live shots you're gonna get. I mean, you guys don't really have live shots to work from maybe, but quick clips, because like I said, they only watch like maybe the first minute, and if they like you, they'll keep watching. So it's kind of like a teaser, like the opening scene. You have to make it good, otherwise people are gonna be snooze fest.
Coming back.
It's coming back. Okay, I don't even want to show. This is gonna be like stuck in their brain. I'm gonna tarnish my journalism career with showing you this last piece.
Do you think it's important that we do live shots here?
I do think that live experience, if you look at any news station, like some stations are like live, like CNN is just live constantly. Just live experience, because you're gonna be live no matter what. And you're not gonna have a teleprompter. And it's like, I never did theater acting or memorizing lines, so, and just being able to talk in front of people and communicating a message across that is understandable to your audience. Taking a complex issue of like politics, healthcare, I don't know, and simplifying it, it's challenging, believe it or not, and then not to stumble as you're trying to talk live and not be nervous. So it's just getting practice. If you have good live shots and start with that in your demo tape, that's a good attention grabber, I think. Oh, see, I don't even know if I want to show you this now.
Yeah, you do.
I know I do, I'm kidding. YouTube. All right, what do we got going on? I remember I was contemplating with you about putting this on my demo reel. You might remember, and you were like, thank you for that. Okay, what do I got here?
Overnight Central Illinois did get hit with some strong...
Sorry, that's... Okay, I gotta go into the deep. Gotta go deep. So I have all like, you guys, if you ever want to like YouTube my stuff, I literally have like live shots, live interviews. Doing live interviews is also huge. Practice live interviews with people. I like your pet segment, that's great. That's a good way to practice talking on camera and not sounding like a goof. Where are we? Toilet paper. Maybe I hid it. Oh, it's you know what? It's on UTVS's website. That's where I watched it last.
The news?
UTVS News Now.
Go to the news. UTVS.
What if I type it in? Will it show up?
Just type your name in the search. Yeah.
Google.
No, go to.
Oh, UTVS News. Is it utvsnewsnow.com?
Just utvsnews.com will get you there too.
Oh, UTVS News. Oh, could I have? Maybe. I'm surprised it's still in there.
I haven't gotten rid of it yet.
2-ply. I don't even remember the nut title. Or not 2-ply. That is the question.
There you go, Danielle.
Oh yeah, there it is.
There we go.
This is so bad. Can I make it bigger? Ah.
St. Cloud State University students, faculty, and staff deserve the best. But when it comes down to the toilet paper, only one building on campus carries the goods. Why we buy the toilet paper we buy is...
Sarah Palin doppelganger.
I know. I should not switch the brand or ever get changes. And the other, or complaints, excuse me. And the other reason is because we are the showcase of campus. We get visitors, we get dignitaries, and we get people from outside the community who want to impress them. Atwood has had a higher quality
This B-roll so bad.
while the rest of campus only has one fly. With the average person spending over 3 years of their life in the bathroom, which toilet paper would you prefer? Atwood brand or generic brand.
Cameron, oh my god. He still goes here.
Does he? Is he gonna get his doctorate or what?
Let's go.
You don't like the one you did
Closer, I guess is what I'm gonna do. Atwood, being the showcase of campus, being, you know, they call it living campus.
Whoa.
It's kind of like coming home.
Rack focus there.
So when you have to go number 2, just remember, Atwood is number 1.
That's my line. That's like in my yearbook photo. Like that line is next to my name. But yeah, that was my top story of St. Cloud.
But it's good investigative journalism.
It was my first investigative piece.
Oh my god, that's good.
Anyway.